Welcome back. We're going to start a new series about how to have difficult conversations with kids. Today we're going to look specifically at how to help kids be prepared for things that they either don't want to do or feel afraid to do. Things like going to the dentist or having to go have a medical procedure or moving or going to a new school or even getting a haircut. For you and I, a lot of these things aren't as scary because we've already done them and we have information we can draw from to fill in those blank spots that our brain doesn't like. But kids don't, and they will search in their imagination and fill those gaps in, sometimes with things that are very scary. And that makes them very resistant, and it makes them hyper-vigilant, so they're more likely to have panic attacks and meltdowns, and it just can be very difficult. So there was a study done where they gave kids some toys to play with before they were going to have medical procedures that were kind of scary. And these kids having access to toys that were kind of like the things they were going to see and experience, playing out what was going to happen to them or what they believed would happen, really helped reduce their anxiety a lot in the study. So I want to show you a way to be able to do something like that. And we'll look at a way too to create stories together that help you predict for when things are a little less predictable. Things like moving or going to a school where there can be a lot of possible nuance and change that happens. Let's take a look at that. Okay, in this case, I'm going to use a puppet to be the thing that will practice these things on. And I would practice it and show my child and then have my child do it too. And then that way they're rehearsing what's going to happen. We might just start out talking about what they're going to experience there. So I might say, gosh, when you first come, they're going to sit you in a funny chair that's different than our chairs at home. I wonder what it'll feel like. And we might imagine a little bit together about what it could feel like. Would it be hard or soft? What things would they be noticing? And then when you sit down in that chair, there are these armrests you can put your arms on. I noticed that this one's arms are out just like that. And we've got some tools here that are going to be used. And one thing that's different is when you go there, they're going to have gloves on their hands, just kind of like these gloves. But I wonder if they'll be the same color, or I wonder what color they'll be. They may have some guesses about the color. And you're going to hear sounds when you're there. There's sounds of things that are buzzing and sounds of things that make strange sounds like air flowing, because they have a tube sometimes they'll put in your mouth to help get extra water out. I wonder what that would be like if they just had a tube that just went right in your mouth, just like a straw, and went and sucked all the water out if they put water in your mouth. And maybe they would start to play that. Let's pretend that a minute. Let's try that. So we'll use this to spray some water to wash this one's teeth. We're washing it, and then we're going and sucking all that water out. And you could even use a straw and have them put a straw in their mouth and make that kind of a sound if that's something that would be fun for them. And we just walk through the procedure, the kinds of things that would happen. And at some point, if they had to do something that was maybe scarier, like having their teeth cleaned or having a cavity filled, we probably talk about what that would be like and say, at some point they're going to use a tool like this. What do you think they would use this one for? And they might express to you things they're afraid of about that. And if they do, that's okay. And you don't have to just correct it right away. You could just listen, let them get it out. Oh, I think they're going to use that to cover my eyes up so I can't see what's going on. Or maybe they're going to really put that so far back in my throat it's going to make me feel like I'm going to throw up. And then you can just show them, oh, this has a mirror on it. Do you see that? And they can use that to see your teeth. So they might put that in there to see parts of your teeth that are harder to see. You try that out, see how you do, and then they can take a turn to try that. And there may be a time where they need to get ready to fill a cavity in your tooth. And so they put some very special medicine right on your gums. They put a piece of cotton in there and make it dry and put some medicine in there that tastes kind of sour and kind of bitter. And then it becomes sort of numb. It makes it just not feel much anymore. And then they get out a thing that looks like this, and they give a shot in there right where it's numb, so you don't really feel it, and they just Do it right in there. Why don't you try that? And let's see how that goes. And they can tell stories about what they think it's going to be like, and you can tell stories about what it was like for you. Just keeping in mind that you want to keep things very simple, very short. Don't go into a lot of description. Even the things that I'm saying right now, I'm giving a little extra for your sake. I might not talk quite as much with the child. I might let them do more talking. Maybe we're going to talk about drills and what that's like and the funny sounds they make. This is one that could go, and when they put it in your mouth, you might feel it kind of buzz a little bit like on your tooth, and then they stop, and then they might get that some water, and then get the water out, and then drill a little bit more, and then they get another tool and fix it right up and fill in that place that had a cavity, and then you're all better and you're good. So being able to have specific landmarks and things that they can play and letting them play that at home can really be helpful before you go, for them to have some things that they can expect, to disarm it so it doesn't feel so big and they're not so hypervigilant. Let's take a look at another example where things might be a little bit non-specific and there could be factors that could change. Okay, I'm going to use my sand tray for this. You don't have to use sand at home. You can just use toys or whatever objects your child chooses. And I would invite them to be the one to choose these things, because even that will help you get a sense of what they're thinking and feeling about this. So I might say, if we're moving, for example, let's choose one for mom and dad. And so maybe they choose a couple figures for mom and dad here. And then let's choose one to be you. And maybe in this case, they're going to choose a knight that sort of armored, maybe on guard, kind of worried about things. And so I begin to tell the story. So one time, there will be a day where mom comes and tells you about how we're going to start packing some boxes to get ready to move. And you'll know that we're going to be getting ready because suddenly there's going to be boxes that will appear. I'm going to use these trees to be boxes. Suddenly there's going to be boxes around the house, and then we're going to be moving them to the garage. What will that be like to have so many boxes in the house, do you think? And just like with the dentist, we're asking questions so they can fill in some of the things that they're thinking and just begin to get that out. And then you can begin to work with it. It becomes a collaborative story that you're creating together. And in doing this, you're creating some anchor points. So the day when mom comes and talks to you about this, you'll know it's beginning. The day that you begin to see boxes, you know that we're getting a little closer. You're adding in these features or these landmarks so they know what they're looking for. So maybe I would include things like, there'll be a day when all the boxes begin to move to the garage. And when the boxes fill up the garage, you'll know it's about time for us to get going. And then we're going to get into a really special kind of a truck, and we're going to take our things to our new house. So we'll have a truck. I wonder how big that truck will be to fit all of our things. What do you think? And talk about the truck and what it might be like, what they might see and hear. And we can begin to create the story together, or they can create part of the story. Show me how you think we'll move all those boxes in there. You know, maybe they'll say, well, mom and dad will pick those up, or we'll get friends to come help. And as you do this, and you're creating these landmarks, you're giving them an idea of here's how you can know what to expect when. So some of these things may change. The date of moving may change, or how fast the boxes get out to the garage may change. But they know when the boxes get out to the garage, that's when something's about to happen. Or the day when your things have to be put into a box, then you'll know something's about to happen. I hope that will begin to give you at least a framework that you can work with. There are other things you can add into this. You could add in a voice for their worries. So let's say, for example, maybe we'll use this bug to be their worries. And maybe the night before we're going to move, this one is going to sleep, and then the worry shows up. I wonder what the worry is going to say to this one. What kind of things will it tell it? Oh, it's going to say, you know, your things are all going to get lost and you'll never see your bear again. Wow. And when your kids express that kind of stuff, Again, you don't want to just rush right in and fix that. Let them talk about it, and then you can even give them landmarks about things like that. Yeah, well, I'd be really scared too. You want to empathize and connect with it. I'd be scared too if I thought I was going to lose my bear and it was important to me. How will you know if your bear is safe? Well, I could just take my bear with me and hold it. That's true. That's something you could do. Wonder if there's any other ways you'd know your bear was safe. Well, if we marked the box that it was in, that's where my bear was, so I could get it out. Well, that's something we could do. Or they may not have ideas at all. But I'm just saying that there are ways for you to talk about this without having to just rush right in and give them the answer. Let them process this a little bit. Let them show you the things they're afraid of and tell you the things that they're worried about. You can do this with all kinds of situations that are coming. And as long as they will play through these, or you rehearse these stories or tell these stories, as you do them, it disarms it. It's almost like taking a layer off each time and disarming the power of this so that when they really face it, they're really quite prepared. I hope that will help, and I hope that you'll see some real success with that. Good luck, and I wish you all the best. Take care.